Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a story that has left many people across the continent asking serious questions about Europe's future. The phrase Europe on edge isn't just dramatic language anymore, because recent moves by Denmark and Sweden have genuinely shifted the mood across the region. These are countries known for stability, cooperation, and predictability, which is exactly why their actions have surprised so many observers. For decades, Denmark and Sweden have been symbols of Nordic balance. They've often represented calm decision-making, strong social systems, and a commitment to shared European values. When nations like these take unexpected steps, it usually signals that something deeper is happening beneath the surface. That's why these developments matter far beyond their borders. To understand why Europe feels on edge, we need to look at the broader background. Europe has been dealing with overlapping challenges for years now. Economic uncertainty, security concerns, energy pressures, and social debates have all been intensifying. One issue alone might not shake the system, but together they create a sense of strain that's hard to ignore. Denmark and Sweden have historically been cautious when responding to crises. They usually prefer consensus and gradual change rather than sudden shifts. So when they take actions that appear firm or abrupt, it naturally raises eyebrows. People begin to ask whether these decisions are temporary responses or signs of a more permanent change in direction. In Denmark's case, recent decisions have been framed as necessary for national stability. Officials have emphasized responsibility, safety, and long-term planning. However, critics argue that the tone and timing feel different from Denmark's usual approach. There's a sense that patience has run out, and that alone is significant. Sweden's situation carries its own weight. Long admired for its open policies and humanitarian stance, Sweden has increasingly found itself reassessing old assumptions. What once worked smoothly is now being questioned under new pressures. The country appears to be recalibrating its priorities in a way that would have been unthinkable just a decade ago. What makes these actions feel unexpected is not just what was done, but how openly the reasoning has shifted. Language matters in politics, and the language coming from both Copenhagen and Stockholm feels more urgent. Words like limits, control, and security are appearing more frequently in official statements. This marks a noticeable change in tone. Across Europe, reactions have been mixed. Some governments quietly support these moves, seeing them as realistic and overdue. Others worry that such actions could undermine long-standing European principles. The debate is less about right or wrong and more about what kind of Europe is emerging. Public opinion within Denmark and Sweden is also divided. Many citizens feel relief, believing their leaders are finally addressing issues that have been ignored. Others fear that core values are being compromised in the process. This internal tension mirrors the wider European debate almost perfectly. Media coverage has played a big role in amplifying the sense of surprise. Headlines often highlight the contrast between past images of Nordic openness and present-day restrictions or reforms. This contrast makes the changes feel more dramatic, even if policymakers argue they are simply being pragmatic. It's important to remember that these decisions didn't appear out of nowhere. Years of pressure have been building quietly. Systems designed for a different era are now struggling to keep up with modern realities. Denmark and Sweden are among the first to openly admit that adjustments are necessary. Security concerns are a major factor in this shift. Europe's geopolitical environment has become more unstable, and northern countries are feeling that pressure directly. Protecting borders, infrastructure, and social cohesion has become a higher priority than before. This inevitably influences policy choices. Economic considerations also play a role. Welfare systems depend on balance and sustainability. When leaders feel that balance is threatened, they tend to act decisively. Denmark and Sweden both place great importance on maintaining strong social models, and they see reform as a way to preserve them. Another key element is public trust. Governments in these countries rely heavily on the trust of their citizens. When leaders sense that trust is eroding, they often respond with clearer, firmer policies. These recent actions may be an attempt to rebuild confidence rather than weaken values. At the European Union level, these moves create discomfort. The EU thrives on alignment and shared direction. When influential members start charting slightly different paths, it raises concerns about fragmentation. Still, it also forces overdue conversations that many preferred to avoid. Some analysts see Denmark and Sweden as bellwethers. They argue that what's happening there today could happen elsewhere tomorrow. If even the most stable systems feel compelled to change course, then no country is entirely immune from these pressures. Others believe this moment represents adaptation rather than decline. From this perspective, Europe isn't collapsing but evolving. Tough decisions, while uncomfortable, may be necessary to ensure long-term resilience. Denmark and Sweden could simply be ahead of the curve. The phrase unexpected action is powerful, but it depends on where you're standing. For policymakers closely watching trends, these moves may have seemed inevitable. For the general public, however, they feel sudden and unsettling. That gap in perception is part of why emotions are running high. Social cohesion is another issue at the heart of this story. Both countries value unity and shared norms. When leaders believe cohesion is under threat, they are more willing to redraw boundaries. This doesn't mean abandoning inclusivity, but redefining how it works in practice. International observers are watching closely. Denmark and Sweden often serve as reference points in global discussions. Their decisions influence debates far beyond Europe, shaping how other regions think about governance, migration, and security. There's also a generational dimension to consider. Younger Europeans grew up with a vision of open borders and shared identity. Sudden policy shifts challenge that world. Older generations, on the other hand, may see these changes as a return to realism. Critics worry about the precedent being set. If exceptions become the norm, core principles could slowly erode. Supporters counter that rigid principles without flexibility can lead to collapse. This tension lies at the heart of Europe's current crossroads. Denmark's approach has been particularly notable for its clarity. Leaders have been direct about their goals and limitations. While this honesty is appreciated by some, it also leaves little room for ambiguity or compromise. Sweden's adjustments feel more emotional, given its historical identity. The country's self-image has long been tied to openness and moral leadership. Reconsidering that image is painful, but many Swedes feel it's unavoidable. What's clear is that neither country sees these actions as isolated. They are part of broader strategies meant to secure the future. Whether those strategies succeed remains an open question, but the intent is unmistakable. Europe on edge is not just about fear. It's also about awareness. Long-standing assumptions are being tested, and leaders are being forced to choose between ideals and realities. Denmark and Sweden are simply making those choices more visible. As debates continue, one thing is certain. These decisions will shape discussions for years to come. They challenge Europe to reflect on what unity really means in a changing world. The coming months will be critical. Other countries may follow, adapt, or resist. The direction Europe takes will depend on how these actions are interpreted and responded to. For now, Denmark and Sweden stand at the center of the conversation. Their unexpected actions have sparked debate, reflection, and uncertainty. Whether history judges these moves as necessary corrections or troubling departures will depend on what comes next. What we're witnessing is not the end of Europe, but a moment of recalibration. Edges feel sharp during times of change, and Europe is no exception. The story is still unfolding, and its outcome remains unwritten. As always, understanding these shifts requires patience and nuance. Simple narratives don't capture the complexity of what's happening. Denmark and Sweden are not rejecting Europe, but reshaping their place within it. This is why the phrase Europe on edge resonates so strongly right now. It captures tension, uncertainty, and possibility all at once. And it reminds us that even the most stable systems must adapt when the world around them changes.